I guess when you start shooting concerts, there's always that one artist that you think of. Early in your career, you shot them, and all of a sudden you saw what was possible. To me, that had to be Sir Elton John. Alright, let's find it. U2, Nickel Creek, Pink, POD, Lord, Tom Petty, Beach Boys, Sun Studios, and there we have it. Elton John, Sunday, July 18th, 2010. You guys remember the epic film Almost Famous, written and directed by Cameron Crowe? The movie about the band on the rise and about William Miller. He was the up-and-coming young high school kid who got to all of a sudden write for Rolling Stone, and he was on the road with the band called Stillwater, right? Falling in love with Penny Lane, who was the friend of the band. She was the band aid, as they called them, the groupies from back in the 60s and 70s in the crazy times of rock and roll. William Miller's character falls in love with Kate Hudson's character, and there's the scene where the tour bus stops. All of the band is in turmoil, everything's going wrong, they're all mad at each other, the lead singer's on drugs, all sorts of crazy stuff, right? And the band pulls away, actually leaving the lead singer of the band behind. He's chasing after the band, and all of a sudden Elton John's classic hit Tiny Dancer comes on. For the first chorus of the song, everybody's just sitting there upset with each other, and as the song goes on, one person at a time on the tour bus starts to sing, and by the third time through the song, everyone's "Hold me closer, tiny dancer," and just going crazy, and it's one of the coolest moments in movie history. So in our first two episodes of Music Monday, we were kind of on a down note. We talked about the death of Tom Petty, we talked about the early death of Dolores O'Riordan from the Cranberries. This week we got some more bad news. No, nobody died this week, but we did find out the news that Elton John announced that he is retiring from touring. Being a child of the 80s, the first Elton John songs that were meaningful to me were, I guess that's why they call it the blues, and I'm Still Standing. Those were the first two songs when I was like, wow, this guy brings it. There were those driving rhythms and the piano. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the term Rickrolling people. It's when you, out of nowhere, turn on a Rick Astley song. My wife and daughter and I have a joke that we put on, I guess that's why they call it the blues, in the same fashion. So sometimes when I have the Bluetooth, I'll sneak into the other room and I'll turn on the song and you'll have that piano intro. Dun, 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 dun. Anyway, that's how we roll here at the Brookman house. Tiny Dancer, Your Song, That's What Friends Are For with Dionne Warwick and Stevie Wonder. Rocket Man, Leave On, Mona Lisa's and Mad Hatter's Saturday Night's Alright for Fighting. Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, Candle in the Wind, the Princess Diana song. It just goes on and on and on. The number of hits are astounding. Now when you talk about solo acts that put on a great live show, I'm not sure that you get much better than Elton John. Obviously he has pushed boundaries in all sorts of creativity. You think about the fact that it's just him and his piano. You know, you have someone like Billy Joel who's just an amazing electric entertainer with just him and his piano, and he has personality and he has this gusto. But Elton John took that to even new level with these costumes and huge sunglasses and wigs. And so at the time I was fairly new in the concert photography industry. I'd been shooting for about 2 years, I believe, within the concert industry itself. And I took a trip up to Yakima, Washington. That's where my wife's family is from. Found out that Elton was playing at the Yakima Sundome. So I put in for credentials, got approved, got really excited, kind of freaked out. He was by far the biggest act that I was going to be able to shoot at the time. So it was a Sunday afternoon, and there just happened to be a Christian band by the name of Third Day who was playing at a little festival that they had outside the Sundome in this park that day. So I was there with my wife and my father-in-law, really enjoying Third Day. They're a really cool band in the Christian worship genre. So anyway, it was time for me to, I was shooting some shots with my long lens just out there on the grass watching Third Day. And then it was kind of surreal, just like heading into the arena, picked up my credential, and walk into the arena. So the publicist leads me up to the front of the entire arena, and there's just this piano sitting there. Elton was gonna come on in just about 5-10 minutes, so there wasn't that long to wait. At the time, I had actually rented a 12-24 lens, which is this lens that is super wide and a lot of times meant for landscapes. I was still experimenting back then, but I also had my standard lenses on. But I get up there and there's no other photographers, so I'm looking around thinking to myself, I mean, I'm standing 5 feet in front of his piano, his legendary piano. This is Elton John's piano, right? As I said, I was kind of new to the industry, so I was kind of in this like super excited mode, but surreal. And then I was in a city that I, was not totally familiar with, so I didn't know if I was doing something wrong. So I'm just standing there, and all of a sudden I just realized you're the only photographer shooting Elton tonight. Now, with about 2 minutes to go before the lights went on, the local newspaper girl came up and she introduced herself. So it ended up just being the two of us. So the lights go down, the crowd goes nuts, right? And as soon as he comes out to his piano, Elton is just like eye-to-eye contact with me, and I'm like this far away from him. It was the easiest concert shoot that I've ever had. The lighting on him was perfect. It was just one of those things. He's mugging for the camera and I could shoot as much as I wanted to. I even had time to switch lenses into the super wide stuff. So I have stuff in my archives of like these super wide photos of him and all like the lights coming down and the stage lights. We got to shoot 3 songs that night, so the first 3 songs, like I said, there was real interaction between Elton and myself, and I just love artists who take good care of their photographers. They realize that we're there to make them look good. We're there to, of course, get great shots for our own careers, but we're also there to make them look great. And someone who has been in the industry that long, who cares about their photographers, who allows them to shoot up at the front instead of pushing them back to the soundboard to shoot, it was just an amazing night, and I got all sorts of cool shots. He was the biggest artist to date that I had shot. It opened up my mind to the possibility that maybe I would get to shoot the biggest acts in the world over the coming years, and it ended up being true as I've basically shot everybody that I've ever wanted to, which I'm just blown away and super thankful for. Like I've said many times before, and I will keep saying on probably every show, I do not believe in celebrity at all. I do not believe in making people more important than other people. I am predominantly a music fan. Anyway, this farewell tour is set to be a really good one. Hopefully Elton stays in really good health and can really enjoy all of the final trips to each city. I believe it's like almost 300 concerts long, this tour, so it's an insane long tour. It's a big goodbye. He'll turn 70 years old this year, as I may have mentioned before. So for my Nashville peeps, Elton will be coming through on his Farewell Yellow Brick Road tour on October 24th at Bridgestone Arena. I really hope I get to shoot it. You never know in this industry, but it would be a really fun, obviously great concert to shoot. We will see you next week. Chase your dreams, and thanks for tuning in.